Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of the Arsenal Away podcast. We're sitting here on I wouldn't say the eve of the new season starting, but we're 2 days away from the season start. Away to Fulham, Mikel Arteta's boys back in action once again. It seems like football barely ended yesterday, and we're back again. Um, so yeah, I'm really kicked. I'm super kicked of watching us how we play the season. Hopefully, Mikel and the board get their signings across of the rumored people that we're trying to get in. But I'm excited to see Willian play. I'm excited to see Saliba play. I'm excited to see Gabriel play whenever that happens. And yeah, I'm just glad football is back. There's something finally to look forward to over a weekend now. It's going to be a shorter season. It's going well, not it's going to be tighter season. I don't think there are going to be as many winter breaks or breaks in between games. Unfortunately, we still have to contend with the crap fest that is the international football. But yeah, I'm excited. Ashwin, brand new season. We're challenging Liverpool for the title this season.
I wish we would be challenging Liverpool for the season, but yeah, I know what you mean. That excitement of when the new season starts and when you look forward to something, and not only that, I think we're the first match of the season. I think we kick off 1 o'clock. No, not one. Yeah, 1 o'clock their time over there, so 5 o'clock for us here. So it's going to be interesting. I, I know you mentioned that football just got over, and it feels like like that. Even though it got over like a month ago, literally like a month ago, it still feels like a long time. Because you're excited because you want to see the new signings, like you mentioned Gabriel, you mentioned Saliba, you mentioned Willian. Hopefully, we get the other two signings also that we've been like everyone's been talking about. I was watching the breakdown that Adrian Clark did yesterday, and at the end of the video, he mentioned that Arsenal are missing two players, and he mentioned that one of them, the two players exactly that Arsenal missing are is a athletic defensive mid, a strong, powerful, athletic defensive mid, and a box-to-box player. So either Adrian Clark knows something we don't, because those are the exact same players that we've been linked to all summer. The athletic, defensive powerhouse, defensive mid is Thomas Partey that we've been talking about, that we've been linked with, and the box-to-box player that everyone's been talking about is Hossein Aouar from Lyon. Again, they're going to be both expensive deals. We'll have to get rid of some players before we get them in because obviously we don't have the sort of funds available. The talks of Bellerin going, the talks of Guendouzi going, but let's see what happens. But yeah, excited for the start of the season. Excited for what we can do under Mikel, because we obviously had a great finish under the season with him. For him to finish off with the trophy, um, to do that within half a season where we were so crap, where where you and me honestly said that we were going through a patch of form where we were as bad as the relegation team form. Like, it was that bad. So excited, looking forward to the weekend, looking forward to a lot of teams play. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the likes of Leeds playing Liverpool. That's going to be a tasty game as well on Saturday night. Um, I want to see the look of Spurs. I think they're going to contend as well because Mourinho's going to now he's got a full season. He's got his players, and he's going to be strong. Chelsea obviously strengthened so much. United haven't obviously gotten Sancho, but they've gotten Van
Have
Dijk.
just to interrupt you, Ashwin, have Spurs signed anyone? I know Chelsea have been like the front runner, but have Spurs signed anyone this season?
Spurs have signed two players. They've signed the right back from Wolves. That was an Arsenal fan.
Doherty, correct. Yeah,
Doherty.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
Matt
made him
Doherty. Yeah,
delete.
yeah, yeah,
They made him delete all his
yeah,
Arsenal
yeah.
tweets.
Mhm.
And I think they've signed Højbjerg from Southampton uh,
All
to
right.
reinforce their
Look
defensive.
at filling of yeah for Vertonghen is what
But
they were looking
yeah,
at. Yeah, yeah.
for so it's going to be a very interesting season. Hopefully this year most of the teams aren't as crap as they were last year. To be honest,
Mm.
United, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea were rubbish last year. Even Man City, for that matter, even though they finished second, it wasn't the sort of consistency that none of these teams showed. It was only Liverpool that showed it, and that's why they were such so dominant in the league. But excited. I don't know. Just before I give it to you, I obviously I want Arsenal to win, and I think that they on paper Arsenal should go to Fulham and win. But it just scares me that every time Arsenal come up against a team from that's just come up from the championship and they come up, um, they think that it's going to be easy, and then they don't show up and they don't turn up, and then we end up losing. And usually our starts are like that. We never end up winning our first game of the season. We've been losing for the last 3 or 4 seasons now. So that's a little scary. But the good thing is that when we're going to Craven Cottage this time, we don't have the Fulham fans there. So that I think the Arsenal players have done really well without the fans. They've kind of managed to up it without the fans. Maybe there was less pressure for them to face. But yeah, looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it as well. So, your thoughts on the game and how you think Arteta is going to line up, and predictions for the game.
I do think. It's a tiny correction. We did win away to Newcastle last year, first day of the season. But again, it was I understand your point though. It was a crappy win. It was under Emery as well. Um, to your point on whether or not we will take it easy, I don't think so. I don't think Mikel is the kind of guy who wants people to just coast along games. I think he's going to impose ourselves. I think he's going to make sure that we impose our superiority on at least on paper on the pitch. And with rumors coming out that on David Ornstein's tweet today that Oba has pretty much signed a new deal, I think that's going to provide the impetus to the players anyways to go out and put in a performance. Plus, it's the first game of the season. It's a brand new start. You've seen the and Arteta also said that everyone starts with a fresh, clean slate. So we've seen Guendouzi's back, you've seen Ozil's back. Sure, we lose some players, but I think there are areas of the squad that need strengthening if we are to mount a reasonable challenge for the top four Champions League places. There was an article that um, James McNicholas put out today on the Athletic that talked about how important Champions League was for players like Mertesacker and Arteta, and there was a bit on the Arsenal board offering them incentives to that, even though they've qualified for the Europa League, and then they refuse. They're like, we're only going to take it if you win it, and that is a mentality that Arteta is trying to instill in the squad. So I don't think they'll take it lightly. I think Fulham will be up for it because they're back again after an absence of a year, I think. Um, I'm confident going into the game, more about how we'll play because I know Arteta will have the players up for it. Uh, as always, for me,
Just
the
just
biggest
just
fear
before
is
just before you
yeah.
just before you bring out your lineups, if David Luiz was fit, I think we'd have probably gone with a 3-4-3 as well. But now the rumors that he's done something to his neck and he might be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So you think he's going to give Saliba and Gabriel a start straight away, or is he going to probably play holding there as well, shift to a two at the back or three at the back? How do you think he's going to go?
Um, yeah, look, I think Louise being out injured does change things because I think Holding was on his way to Newcastle before Louise got injured. Um, I don't think he will. I don't think. Actually, you know what? Away to Fulham seems like a decent time to introduce both these players. If you ask me to, quite honestly, even if he does go with the three at the back,
Let's not forget,
with
Fulham have Mitrovic over there up top, who's not the easiest character to handle.
what was that?
Fulham have Mitrovic as a striker up. He's not the easiest to handle.
No, I know, I get that, but I'm saying that I think even if you have the likes of a Holding, Gabriel, and Saliba starting, I think it's too early for them. But I don't think there is a as perfect a game for them to start because it's away to Fulham. They're a new side. Um, because I don't know if Socrates will play because he's also rumored to be on his way out, and I don't think they want to injure any players, and that might scupper a chance for a deal. But you're right; it's something that I think is that they need to figure out what to do. Holding will definitely start. Who he partners with, either with a two or with a one, is anybody's guess. But as far as the lineup goes, I don't think Lacazette will start. I think it will be Willian, Oba, and Pepe up front with Ceballos, Xhaka. Sebastian Jaka, and dare I say Ozil, uh, starting with Maitland Niles holding um, Tierney, and I think I've missed out one more. Uh,
So are you going four at the back, or are you going three at the back?
I think I'm going forward the back. I think I'm going forward the back. Then I think I have it spot on. So I think yeah, it'll be. I think it'll be Tierney, Maitland Niles, Holding, and one of the new boys with Martinez, because Martinez done nothing wrong to not start the Premier League season.
So you're saying Bellerin's going to be dropped.
I don't think Bellerin will start. No,
So you're saying Ainsley at
Uh,
right back with either Rob Holding and one of the new boys, either Saliba or Gabriel
yeah.
at. I think probably Gabriel.
And Tierney, of course, because that's yeah, and Tierney at left back because that's his spot. So
Okay. Your midfielders Özil, Shaka, and Ceballos. Is that it? You think
Ceballos, yeah.
Özil gets a start?
I mean, we need some dynamism in midfield. I'd like to see. I mean, I'd like to. I'm taking Mikel's word for it that everyone gets a clean slate,
So you think
and that's why I'm playing him
Özil starts at center ahead mid
at
before
at
in,
10, at 10, yeah,
at
at number
10
10,
ahead of Willian?
at 10. No, I think it'll be a 3-1-2-4 is what I'm looking at. So you have Willian, Oba, Pepe, Ozil behind supplying the balls. You have Ceballos and Xhaka, and then
So
you have four at the back,
you're moving Oba up top.
up top. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I'd want Oba to play up top, I don't think Mikel's going to do that.
No, I
Unless
mean, I mean, it could very well be that he starts in Ketia, and instead of Oba, switches places and plays Willian as a 10,
yeah,
or Willian as part of a three-man midfield. He could very well do that. But I just think that I mean, that guy is a super right foot. He's great out left, playing out on the left and cutting back in, and the inverted winger role that Pep keeps talking about. So I think that would be really good to see him play there. But again, I'm hopeful. I'd like to see Ozil play. But yeah, that would be my lineup.
I don't know. I feel that there are going to be some surprises. Uh, I I I would like Mikel to play for the back as well, but I think he'd still stick with the three. And then probably turn it around, maybe to see what is happening. If we need a goal accordingly, then you probably bring one defender off, or if you've already got a goal, then to keep it tight. Because if you see the last two or three preseason games that we played, I know it's only preseason, and then he's probably played a mix of youth as well as the senior guys. I think we played one game against QPR, we won 4-3, and we lost against Aston Villa. It was 3-2 that we lost against Aston Villa, and they were both behind closed door friendlies where I don't think Mikel wanted to really reveal what they were doing. So like there was no footage about it as well. So I guess there he was trying to play a 4-4-2 there, or at least a four at the back. Uh, Maybe he still doesn't have the confidence. I know Granit Xhaka missed both those games, and he's pivotal for Mikel in his team. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what Mikel does as well. But I think you're right. But apart from your team, I think Ainsley, even though he deserves being there, I think Bellerin still keeps his place. Ainsley might start now that David Luiz has got injured. Ainsley might start at left wing back, and that will probably push Tierney back into the left over there, unless he starts Gabriel there, which is again he's got a lot of permutation combinations that he can play around with there.
So
Um,
who's your third centre back then? Who's your third centre back as part of the three then?
so if he's
If Tierney
playing,
plays as left centre back.
I probably think he probably start with Rob Holding in the center, Tierney to his left, and probably Saliba to his right. Probably give Gabriel
Okay.
a game or two to adjust to figure it out. Because I don't think Gabriel's played. I think he's played one game against Aston Villa, so it might be too early to blood him into the league with no preseason under his belt at all. As much as I would love to
I
see
think
Ozil,
Chambers is still out injured, right? He's not back anytime soon.
Chambers will probably come back end of the year, is what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Chambers and Martinelli both are, I think, a little late, little far away, as well as Mustafi as well. Mustafi, I think, is still a month and a half away.
Oh yeah. I
So
completely forgotten about Mustafi. I mean, he was I mean pretty much best defender under
Mikel,
Arteta.
yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I love Ozil, and you know I love Ozil a lot, I want him to start, and it excites me. Like somebody made up a banner that said, you know, the last dance with Ozil over there, and you know, it really excited me. It could well and truly be the year that he knows that this is his final chance. If he has to get a new contract, or if he has to get back something, he has to perform. I'm hoping he takes this up as a challenge, and you know he can really help us, because we can do this creativity, and we know when he's on song, he's probably the best in his position, and there's nobody that can match him. So I would love Ozil to start, but I don't think he'd probably start. I still feel it's just going to be Granit Xhaka and Ceballos in midfield, and then we probably have Oba. We probably have either Eddie or Laka. I think he probably go with Eddie, and probably Pepe might start for us.
So if he goes with Oba and Eddie, then Willian plays as 10.
No, there's no 10 because
There's
we're
a 10.
playing.
Okay.
There's no 10 because we're playing five
So
at
three
we're playing.
across. Okay. So you
Yeah,
have okay. Got it. Got it. Got it.
and so I don't think Willian will start either. I think it'll be easier to blood Willian into the home game. I think our first home game next week is against who we playing? I think we're playing West Brom or someone before we go to Liverpool.
I forget. I don't
So
know who our first home
so
fixture is. I think it's West Ham. I think.
one of the teams. We're playing somebody at home
Yeah.
before we have a tough away trip to Leicester, and then we go away to Liverpool, and then 2 games later we are away at Man City. So tough 5 games for us. First 5 games. If we can get away with say about 9 points from 15, or even 10 points from 15, I'll be very happy. It'll be a great start for us. But yeah, it's these small games that smaller games. Like no disrespect to any of the teams like in Fulham or anybody, but it's these games that we really need to um, do well, because even last season, if you see when we started off post the COVID break, we lost against teams where we lost against those teams that actually sat back and defended the whole game. I think one was against Spurs, where Mourinho sat back and hit us on the break. The other game was against. Did we lose to Villa? Yeah, we lost to Villa.
We lost 1-0 to Villa. Yeah.
Yeah, we lost 1-0 to Villa. So again, it was one of those. And then we beat teams like Liverpool, we beat teams like City and Chelsea, because um, we were doing more of the sitting back instead of the other team. So it's very important for Mikel to find that balance between his teams, and I'm hoping he gets that. Um, uh, yeah, before we get there, you spoke about Oba, and it's great that I think it's probably the best signing of the window to keep him, because he's probably been greatest player for now 2 seasons, and for him to go 2 seasons scoring 20 goals and adapting to the league so easily has been wonderful to see. He's one of those players that can be totally anonymous in the whole game and not really provide anything, but you give him one chance and he scores that vital goal, and he's so important to us. So yeah, very very happy that hopefully it's like he's officially signed before the Fulham game starts, and looking forward to the league, man. I'm just excited to see the Arsenal play again. It's just so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the league is always fun. I mean, it's just because of the narrative around the league and how everyone performs, and um, you could win a game really easily, could drop points very easily, and just the competitiveness. I just want us to be competitive. I know we're not going to win the league, but I just want us to be competitive. I want us to not think that Arsenal have a glass jaw. I want us to compete with the big boys, give them a fight, beat a couple. I think we can. I think we have it in us to beat the likes of. Um, if I were to do a manager to manager comparison, I think we can. We've beaten Klopp, we've beaten Pep. I think we can very. I think we can beat the likes of a Lampard and Ole. I think Arteta is much better tactician compared to them. But yeah, no, I can't wait. You're absolutely right. It's the smaller teams that will decide our fate for the top four. Sorry, now top six, not a top four.
Yeah,
Um,
just before we end this, I just wanted to ask you predictions for the top four or top six, and
uh,
predictions for, let's say, Golden Boot, to see who finishes.
hmm. I think City win the league. Liverpool finish second. Um,
To be fair, I know City are adding and Liverpool haven't added anybody to their squad, but City did lose a lot of games last year, man. They lost more games than we did.
They did, but the only reason why I say Liverpool to finish second is I don't see them maintaining that level of consistency for a third year in a row. It's very difficult.
Okay.
It's very difficult. I guess that's the only reason why I'll say that. I think that team, like 2 years, maximum three is what any team can sustain. I think they've done what they could. And if teams sit with a deep block against Liverpool, it's difficult to like. We've done it. We were able to hold them off 2-0. It was at home for us.
Twice.
Yeah, so we've done it twice. So I don't think I think Liverpool will finish second. Um, I think Chelsea, for just the quality that they've added, I'd put them third. I'm putting us for fourth.
What if United gets
Spurs
Sancho?
fifth. United. I mean, he's still young. Let's not forget that. He's still 2022. He's It's way too much pressure on uh, someone like a Sancho to come and just start performing. I mean, he could very well just hit the ground running. But I think United have always had a good squad. I think it's their fans who always complained. But I think United could definitely be challenging for the title if they were to add like a top striker because they've already got Donny van de Beek, who's I don't know if he'll start because that midfield becomes very imbalanced for them. Pogba, Hernandez, is his name Hernandez? Bruno Fernandez, sorry. Pogba, Fernandez, and Donny van de Beek could be just way too no. You can run behind them, and then there's no cover for the back four. Again, sorry, but this is not a United podcast. I think United and Spurs will drop out. I think we'll finish fourth. I I think if I were to talk about Europe, we have two options available. We've got Europa League and the league. I would think we will go a little further in the Europa League. Um, Depends how seriously we take it, where we are in February, March. But I do think we'll go deep. And if we win it, I hope we win it by. I hope we win it easily. 'Cause I like for us to have a season like United did, where they just waltzed past teams that didn't really care. Even though they had a strong, they beat a pretty strong Ajax team in the
Ajax team in the
final.
final.
I would like us to have just a season where we're like when we thrashed Villa 4-0 in the FA Cup final. I'd like us to have that sort of a game. But no, in all seriousness, I think we'll finish. I think we'll finish top four. Uh, if we add in quality, I think we can definitely. I mean, then that would cement our chances if we are linked with a box to box player or a creative number eight. Let's see. But I'm excited. I can't wait for Saturday. Can't come fast. Saturday 5 p.m. can't come faster.
Okay, last thing. Give me one name for who's going to win the Golden Boot.
Golden Boot. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, uh,
Lots of people in with a shout. There was Vardy from last year. Danny Ings was pretty close. Mane, Salah always there. We've got Timo Werner who's coming now, who's banging a lot of goals. Obviously, we've got Aubameyang. We can throw in some United players as well. If you think Martial and Rashford are going to have consistent runs there, they're going to score goals. Who else we got? We got Aguero. We're not considering Aguero. We're not considering Raheem Sterling. So we've got a fascinating lineup of strikers who can score tons of goals. Oh, of course, I've forgotten Harry
uh,
Kane as well. Like Harry Kane and so on, you can add them as well. There, if you could keep Harry Kane fit,
uh,
he can get you at least 20 goals.
Harry Kane is a guaranteed 25, 30 goals a league, like in the league at
If
least
he's
if he
not
stays
injured.
fit. But
Yeah.
he's never injured. Like he's been having it for a while now. Last season also, I'm sure if you watch the Spurs documentary, he's out for like 3 months and he's had issues with his hamstring and he's had hamstring issues in the past as well. Um, I would say Oba, given the service, would finish a lot of it. I hope we complement him and not just depend on him. I think um, I mean I don't want to get into the midfield contribution of goals whatever because I think that's a different that's another for another day. But I think Oba definitely in the top three at least, if
Okay.
not. the top.
So your top
So
three
I
would
would say
be
Auba. I would say Auba. I'd say Aguero. I'd say Harry Kane.
no Mane, no
Aguero
Salah.
because he's been out. I mean, Vardy's 30. He'll be 34 now.
No Mane and
So
Salah.
nah, not for winning the league.
Okay,
Not for having a top. Not for having a top like out and out striker because they're not. I mean, their positions also don't really give them that. I mean, they still score a lot of goals, but um, I don't think they didn't come close to them either. They didn't come close to Aguero or Vardy last season.
no, not Aguero. Mane was close. Mane was about 2 goals behind.
Sorry, I'm sorry. They didn't come close to Vardy or
Vardy.
Auba last season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Okay.
it'll be because also Aguero's also had he's been out for a little while, so I think that rest plus Pep really needs Aguero.
Yeah, he
So
does. He does.
yeah,
And I know I mentioned that would be the last question, but okay, this is the final, absolute final one. Your player to watch for Arsenal this season, who's it going to be?
player to watch from the current squad or from expected signings.
I mean, from the current squad
Current
that we have, we can probably obviously do we can do another one if we end up signing more players. But player to watch,
current interesting. If Martinelli was fit, I'd say Martinelli.
mhm,
But I think I want to name two people. I want to say how Ceballos kicks on now that he's had his second season here, and I
first
want
season.
to I want to see how I don't want to say Saka because that'll be the obvious name, but I want to see how Pepe will now fit in after having like been there. I mean, it's tough again because it's not been a traditional full preseason or whatever. But now he knows players, he knows what works, and you could see changes in his game also towards the latter half of last season. But I think Ceballos and Pepe, I'm really excited for Pepe to see what he could do, like what he'll turn on now. So
Fair enough. Uh, thanks, Amrit. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. So that's been our podcast. We've been itching to get this one out for you guys because we've been waiting for the league to start. Like I think someone forgot to mention at the start of the show. Please subscribe to our channel. With the Arsenal Away on YouTube, on Twitter, and Facebook. Please subscribe. Please let your friends know so that we can grow. And thank you guys for joining us. Thanks, Amrit. See you soon.
thanks, Ashwin. Here's all the best to you and to everyone watching, and hope you have a good season.